I feel like there's not much transparency in the business game, whether it's in person or online. There's a lot of people talking about how well they're doing, but they don't dive into the specifics or talk about the bad side of things. That's what I want to do with this video, because I think when I first started, it would have been very, very helpful to see someone above me who is being 100% transparent. Because there's a lot of people talking shit. I think the more showy people are, the more they're trying to hide or kind of, yeah, cover up. So I want to just take you under the hood, kind of go through. I've been running, I've tried 7 different businesses over the last 5 years. Started at 16, 22 now. So be going to my sixth year in business. But after all that time, I'm going to try break down in categories of maybe not year by year, but going over, just segment it and just be fully transparent about it. So, yeah. So I would say from about 16 to 18 years old, that was a time where I was just fucking around. Like I was just being a retard, not really like committing or effectively working, basically. Well, I was like, I think my first proper venture was clothing reselling, where in England I'll buy clothes off Depop and then try to resell it. Don't really go anywhere. So I don't really consider that a business, but still a venture. And then the drop shipping next, then NFT trading, affiliate marketing, kind of things in that realm. With that, I literally made like with minus NFT trading, I literally made no money. I didn't make a single dollar. With NFT trading, I made a bit of money, but profitably overall, with all the money I put in, I did not make any money. I lost. So, and I would say the takeaway from that is I wasn't really, first of all, I didn't spend enough time actually learning the ropes and giving it a proper go because of just shiny object syndrome. So, there's a business model that's apparently making everyone millionaires online, but it's just some guy making more money from selling courses rather than doing what he's doing. Please keep that in mind. But yeah, so I was kind of just bouncing around. I didn't learn any fundamental skills. Like for drop shipping, I was doing, I guess, the two main skills I could take away from that is content creation and or organic content creation and then paid media. So I was doing paid ads, but the problem was I didn't have the budget or just I didn't put enough time and effort into actually learning it, so I went nowhere. And then same for the organic side of things, I was kind of just fucking around on Canva and nothing came from it. So yeah, and then by the time and then I bounced off to something else, and those skills were useless and didn't know anything. So I think this takeaway is either just sticking with something that's actually worth it, but then also knowing when to pivot if it's shit. But then from 18 to then now, I'll split it in half because that was the turning point. 18 to now 22, it was I started actually taking personal branding slash content creation very seriously. Now I run a video editing agency. From that wasn't my goal whatsoever. It was more just what I was getting good at. And I was able to get good at video editing because of personal branding and content creation. I posted a lot of content for myself, trying to do like it was initially to promote a marketing agency and just build a brand online. A social media management agency went nowhere. But then I then started moving into the personal branding, like digital products realm, and that went nowhere. But the one thing I did take from it is I was able to build a following where at its peak was about 17K followers on TikTok. I had a few viral videos and then did well there. But then gone down a bit because I haven't really posted on that platform. But then I was able to learn the skill of organic marketing and then B, video editing. And then I'm able to kind of tie those two together into an offer now where it's more video editing focused, where it's more deliverables of 4 videos a month, things like that, rather than consultation. But there's that element of consultation in there. From that, I was able to take the skill of video editing and actually apply it to a business where I wasn't just a beginner or didn't have a clue of what I was selling, but I was still selling it. Like with the social media management agency, I did not have a clue what I was doing. And I was pitching that to people. So, which is just basically scamming, even though that wasn't my intention. But yeah, so it was taking it from there. And then I would say within the first year, it's hard to put a figure on it, but it was probably under 40K New Zealand dollars. So I don't know, maybe 25 US. So it's under that. So it was nothing where it was crazy, but it was a win. Like it was something where I could see. I'll actually have a look straight. Okay, so year one it was actually 70k New Zealand dollars. So I think it was maybe 40k US, so a bit more than I thought. But yeah, so with that, it's still a massive jump from where I was. But if you look at it from the online world where it's like kind of people promising get rich quick and give us 6 months and you're a multi-millionaire, like it obviously wasn't the case. But it's definitely a step up. It allowed me to quit my job, which was the main thing. So there was that. And then that year was very tough in the sense that I'm just figuring out what to do and like trying to even solidify an offer and just pricing. Like, I think that was a big one, figuring out pricing because I just did not have a clue and was firing from the hip and still am to a certain degree, but it's a bit more calculated because I've had a bit more experience. But before it's like literally just chucking out prices and hoping for the best. And then I think this is kind of a side note, but one limiting belief I had was that money to me was like $20 to me, whereas like that was an hour of my time. That's a lot of money. But then, and the problem with that mindset is that to other people, $20 is maybe worth $2 to them. And kind of if you compare it. And then but in my mind, it was like, shit, I'm charging someone $20 for a video. Like that's crazy. And then in their mind, it's like, is that it? So, and then that limited me a lot. But so yeah, that was kind of year, I guess three then, or year four in the cross. And then from there to now, I'm able to actually get a bit of proof of concept, and it's like, okay, I can actually do this, and I can scale it up. And then at now I'm doing roughly about 20k New Zealand dollars a month, so it's about 12 US. So it's still nothing crazy in the grand scheme of things, but it's definitely a lot better than where I was. Um, I mean, if you compare it to kind of multi-million dollar companies and people like that, it's like, yeah, it's nothing. You're not even on the playing field. But it's definitely a step up from where I was. And with that, it was kind of a lot of the problem. I plateaued for a while where I was like, when I was first starting in that 70k year, it was the two focuses was outreach and making content. Those are the two drivers. And once I stopped that, because I got to a comfortable point where I didn't delegate any, I didn't have any team members helping with editing. Now I do. But before that, I was like, okay, I'm limited to my time. This is all I can do. And then once I got to a point where I was more or less full with my clients, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop content. I'm going to stop outreach to grow my business, supposedly. But then also, I killed the two things that help grow the business. So, and then I plateaued for a long time. And then only really recently, within the past 3, 4, 5 months, probably 5 months, I've been actually taking it serious and trying to work on growing it again. And it's slow progress, but there's been progress. So, yeah, it's like killing those two lead sources or kind of lead methods just killed the business, obviously. But I was so stupid to think, why is my business not growing when I'm not doing anything to attempt to grow it, which was the problem. And yeah, so I've been full time in my business since January 2024. Since January 2024. And then since then, obviously been full time and then was able to grow it a lot easier and quicker because I could just dedicate all my time towards it, which was definitely a big driver. Why I wouldn't do that, but 100% worth it as well. But then, look, if you look at it, the kind of business trajectory or growth pattern has just been like that, and then it kind of goes up and down, and then it bounces and then plummets. So that is the nature of it, kind of in a somewhat higher point now. But then I think the reason why I plummeted is because I was so reliant on, like, for myself, I've got 5 or 6 clients, five clients that are kind of on recurring, and then that's high ticket. But then the initial problem when I plummeted, I went from 10k a month New Zealand to like one or maybe two or three, was because I think 90% of the income, or whatever number it is, was reliant on one client, and then when that client left, I was finished. So now it's kind of diversifying, but I don't want to go into the low ticket scene because it's lower. It tends to be lower quality clients. So the only option is to really just get more high ticket clients, which I'm not complaining about. So yeah, you have to. Well, that's one thing that I wish I did was just continued with the actual lead growing activities or business growing activities, and then also diversifying. Where they're kind of coexisting both together anyway. But yeah, I think for myself, it's been like it's definitely a rocky road, but 100% worth it. And then yeah, definitely recommend you doing the same. Hopefully, that was a bit more transparent to what you see online because a lot of it is kind of smokes and mirrors, and you think some people are doing really well, and then they're solely reliant on credit cards, and then some people who don't look like they're doing well are doing amazing. So I think with social media, it's a very tough game. Um, and yeah, I think there needs to be more transparency as a whole. So hopefully that is a step forward into my situation, whether that helps or not. But yeah, wish you all the best if you're starting a business or you are, and have a good one.